Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've teased you enough. Here she is. The L77. Just as I found it. Pretty much. Yeah, I've given her a little wipe over. This is pretty much as I found her. Look at this. I think that's the original bar. She's set up with 404 with this kind of, I don't know, is that a ripping chain? I'm not sure. You tell me. You'd know better than me. You normally do. I'd say she was in used but not abused condition. She seems pretty nice. What do we think about that? Good evening. Thought I'd do a little film for you outside here, just on one of my little wood piles. Arty shots over with on the L77, and yeah, I've posted a few little teasers to this, and you guys, I think, have been looking forward to seeing it. So I thought I'd finally, yeah, pop you up and introduce you to, or you guys. So yeah, look at this. I don't know where to start really. Do I tell you the story of the saw or the story of how I found it? I don't know. So, I mean, you guys are all pretty educated, so I think you'll be able to tell me a bit more about this saw than I know, really. I mean, according to that brilliant Mike Akers site, they started production of these in '74, didn't they? And I think they ran through till, I don't know, 77, 78? Forerunner to the sort of 180, 280, 380, 480 series, I think. I've run a 480, I think, or a 380 in New Zealand with my pals there, and it didn't strike me as much of a saw. So it was a bit vibrating, not very powerful, but I've run this a little bit, and this one seems, I don't know, just nicer. Maybe it's because it's older and I give it a bit more benefit of the doubt, I'm not sure. But I mean, these are quite cool, aren't they? Because they are, I think we think of them as the first modern format of saw, really. So compared to the McCullochs, the Alpinas, all of the other stuff that came before that had, you know, pretty much everything before had a horizontal cylinder, didn't it? Exhaust over here. I think these were the first ones really with, you know, what we would call a modern format of saw. So upright cylinder, carb at the back, exhaust at the front. Yeah, I think they're sort of regarded as the first, yeah, kind of modern layout of a saw, aren't they? So 77cc, which I'm sure you knew. I was really interested just looking up the bore and stroke just now. So they are 52mm bore, 36mm stroke, which interestingly gives them exactly the same dimensions as a big bore 372 XP. So normal 372, or, you know, the original 372. We don't really talk, well, the X-Talk's not a bad saw, is it? But when we talk about 372 XPs, we talk about the original. So yeah, the original 372 XP is 50mm bore, isn't it? 36mm stroke. So yeah, this is just like a big bore, which I thought was really interesting. So Husky have obviously stuck with that 36mm stroke for a long time. Really, I'm just really cool that, you know, they don't pop up. So yeah, how did I come by it, I suppose, is the next question. Well, you know, like us all with a little chainsaw problem, I keep an eye on the classifieds and the local stuff, and I've learnt my lesson, I think, as we probably all have, with just buying stuff blind, unless it's someone you trust or it's cheap enough to take a chance on. So I do keep a scan on stuff, but I keep a scan on the classifieds just within, you know, sort of the local area, 20-30 miles really. And this one popped up on Marketplace, not very far away. The guy didn't want £1 million for it, so I thought, yeah, and apparently it ran. So I thought, yeah, let's go and have a look at it. And it was cool. It was a barn find. I bought it from a farm. Looks like the son of a farmer had been digging through a few old saws and found it and had got it going. So yeah, what a cool story, really. Got it local. Again, like I said, on the little walk around, it's done some work, but I think it's in pretty good nick, you know. This bar, I hope this bar is original. It's certainly in period. I think it looks mega. What do you think? Doesn't it look good? So yeah, we're out here. We've got a couple of bits of wood. The chain's not the sharpest, but it's not, I haven't really touched it, but the chain's not super blunt either. So I think what we'll do is fire it up, do a few cuts with it, and let you have a look, because what you're waiting for really is to see how she cuts and how she does and how she sounds. So let's get started up, let's get her warmed up, and you can find out. So she is cold, stone cold, so I'm sort of taking a flyer here that she's going to start. Alright, so it's absolutely stone cold. I'll just give it a little bit of choke, and you can see how she goes. So four pulls and she popped. Oh no, we'll give her a bit of fast idle. She is obviously, that was a start from cold, so I'm just going to let her warm up a bit more off camera and reset you guys, and then you can see her cutting up some more. get into the habit, don't I, with these old saws of pulling the recoil out. So there you go, guys. A little bit of cutting with the L77. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that. She is I think she's a little bit rich on the hijet, but I don't want to play with it too much. I don't know, what are the pitfalls with these guys? I think I've read the recoils can be a bit weak, so I'm nervous about that, and I need to get more used to running these really old saws and just pull them out a little bit before I let them, before I switch them off. But it seems to run, do you know what, it cuts nicely, it cuts quickly. I think this would outcut that Alpina that I've got as it is, and I think there's a lot more to be gained from sharpening the chain on this, and I think it needs a tiny little bit leaner on the hijet. I wouldn't be brave enough to go too far, but yeah, I think she could definitely go a little bit leaner. And as you can see, this is actually the fuel that was in it from the guy I bought it from, so it's quite smoky, so I don't know if it's the greatest oil in it. Don't know what sort of mixture it's at. Would you run this at sort of, I tend to run all my saws at 40:1 with a really good quality like motocross oil. So I do have a racing motocross, a little a 105cc little motocross bike that I race around go-kart tracks here in the UK. And I run some really crazy two-stroke oil in that to stop it seizing. And I tend to run my saws on the same oil at about 40:1. So would you do that with this saw? Everything I've ever run it on seems fine at the moment. But yeah, what do you think? I'm really keen to keep this running. Don't want to use it too much, but it'd be nice to do some bits with it. It feels, that's the other thing I was going to mention about this. It's light. This to me, I need to do a bit of a weigh-in. This to me feels the same sort of weight as a 200 series saw. So I always think a 300 series saw, so a 372 XP for example, is about half a kilo or a pound heavier than like a 272 XP or a 266. This feels much more like a 266, 272 size and weight. So really useful weight, and it feels like a usable saw. I'm going to take this for an afternoon's cutting, I think. Maybe we'll do a little cut off with this and the Alpina, maybe with that Mac of mine if I can get it working properly. Yeah, a little vintage whack off, as the novice lumberjack calls them, or you know, just a little comparison. But yeah, I've whittled on enough now, haven't I? Sorry about that. Hope you've enjoyed a little summer evening here in the UK with a lovely vintage L77 though. And thanks for watching. Do hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I'm sorry to ask, I know, but it's like the YouTube game, and you know, if you want to see more of these and keep me making them, then we need to get people watching the videos. So yeah, because it costs money to buy the saws and stuff, and I like sharing. I just really share all this stuff with you because it's what I'd be doing anyway. So just kind of flick the camera on, more as a record as well. I can look back then. But yeah, what do you think of the L77? Have you got one? Or its little brother, the L65, which I kind of feel like would be nice to have as a pair, wouldn't it? I don't want to play with this one. I want to leave it nice and standard. But yeah, what a lovely thing. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon on the next video. Cheers. Have a great evening.